Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos. So as you all know, Ole Gunnar Solsjaker give his overarching view on our 3-1 win against Brighton yesterday, and he said, we attacked superbly. It was exhilarating attacking football, and he does believe, we should have won by a greater margin, reflecting on the amount of chances, that we did create. But it was a very, very good performance, and I think analysing it, that's the best performance of the season. Obviously, the victory, does put us up to 7th in the league. We still, I think, remain 9 points behind top 4. So even though we did beat Brighton, I still think it's going to be extremely difficult for us, to get into that top 4. And I did recently say, didn't I? I think, our only route to getting the Champions League for next season is obviously progressing in the Europa League, but we are now in the knockout stages of the Europa League. We've still 2 games to spare, and another positive is that we are into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. So even though we've had a disastrous start to the season, we could still win some silverware. This season, we could win the Carabao Cup. We could win the Europa League, but I still believe where we will not get the top 4. But yeah, like I said, it was a very, very good performance in that. We created a lot of chances. We showed a lot of tenacity in the game. The goals, like I said, were from Andres Pereira. He scored the first goal. Martial, of course, had provided 2 assists in the game, and I think it's we have actually rejuvenated ourselves since the Liverpool game, and I think disregarding the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth last week, I think we seem to have rejuvenated ourselves. There seems to be more momentum, is building. Obviously, there seems to be more confidence in the players, and some players have really stepped up to the plate. So I think in the last 6 or 7 games, I have seen a variety of changes, and I think also, since Martial has come back from injury, he's also been fantastic, and he does add more inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch, does Anthony Martial, and he obviously helps the likes of Daniel James and Marcus Rashford. I also thought Daniel James was superb yesterday. Solskjaer obviously did rest Daniel James in the game against Partizan Belgrade, because obviously Solskjaer obviously realises that he's been overplaying Daniel James. Because Daniel James now this season has played around 16 games for Man United, I think around 19 games in total, and he has been a consistent starter this season. That I've actually been surprised with that, because I thought when we obviously signed him, I thought we would obviously play him, but I didn't think he'd have played as regular as he has done, but he has deserved to be a player regular anywhere, because he's done really, really well. Don't get me wrong, maybe some aspects of his game still need to improve. His finishing needs to improve. Maybe he needs to track back a bit better than that, but you could still classify him as a prospect, and he still needs time to develop. But he is only 21 years of age. The second goal, obviously, was an own goal from Davy Proper. Obviously, VAR had intervened. I initially thought it was McTominay that had got the goal, but obviously, it got put down as an own goal. So it was 2-0 up within the first 20 minutes. Then obviously, it was 2-0 at half time. Then obviously, Brighton got themselves back into the game, with a goal from Lewis Dunk, and then obviously, we made it 3-1 from Marcus Rashford. Very, very good goal. Obviously came off the bar and went in, and that was enough to get us all 3 points. And look, Rashford actually could have had a hat-trick yesterday. Don't forget he missed an open net. Daniel James had a fantastic chance, so he should have got his name on the score sheet. So we could have won maybe 6 or 7-1 yesterday. But it doesn't matter anyway. We still got the victory. Solskjaer also praised Fred for his fantastic performance, and like I said, Fred's really stepped up to the plate recently. For Man United. I still don't know if he's the long-term solution for Man United. I have got element of concerns about that, but quite recently, he has blended in alongside McTominay in our midfield fantastically well. I will agree on that aspect that we did overpay for Fred, because we paid just under £50 million for him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk, but recently he has hit the ground running. Rashford has been absolutely fantastic recently. He's actually rejuvenated himself, and I do know I have been criticising Rashford for the vast majority of the season because he hasn't been performing to the standards as we should expect from him. But recently he's really hit the ground running. But I still said during Rashford's long bad spell, I still said then he's the long term solution for Man United because he is only 22 years of age. Obviously, throughout the game yesterday, a few times Rashford was centrally, Martial was out wide. Obviously, we do know that obviously Martial is more effective in that number 9 role. That's where you now see the best of him, even though he does predominantly play out wide, does Anthony Martial. But the good news is now Rashford has scored 54 goals for Manchester United in all competitions. Martial, of course, has scored 53 goals in all competitions. So yeah, I have been very, very impressed recently, and I've also got, I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solsjaker because he showed a lot of tactical flexibility, and obviously for the vast majority of this season, a lot of Man United fans, including me, have been criticising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics because for the vast majority of this season he has been tactically naive. Some of his substitutions have been questionable and that, but now, do you think his managerial tenure is going to turn around at Man United? What I've recently seen, it seems like we've turned a corner. I thought the performance yesterday, replicated, the game against Partizan Belgrade in the Europa League, showing some free-flow attacking football. This is obviously, what we've wanted to see all season, basically. And it's also very, very good because we have still got a lot of injuries, so I also want to take that into account, and obviously reflect on the amount of injuries we've had this season. Anyway, Solskjaer has had to make alterations in the squad. Obviously some players have come back from injury now. Obviously some players have come back from injury now, but obviously, there's still quite a lot out. Obviously, now it's the international break. We play Sheffield United after the international break, but we do expect more players to regain full fitness after the international break. So I think Solskjaer did confirm that to Nzebe, Luke Shaw, Nemanja Matic, he said, they all should be back after the international break. Luke Shaw is out with a hamstring injury. He's been out since the 2-1 home defeat to Crystal Palace. Matic has been out with a minor problem. Tuanzebe has been out with a hip injury. But Diego Dalot's still out with injury. I think it's unknown when he will be back in contention. Bay is out until the end of the year. Fosu Mensah is still out with injury. Obviously, Paul Pogba, as Solskjaer confirmed not too long ago, that he's not expected back until December because, Solskjaer did confirm the extent of Paul Pogba's injury, and he has actually, been a big miss in that midfield. But yeah, we have still got a lot of injuries. The good thing is, Brandon Williams making his full debut for the football club yesterday, and I thought he did absolutely fantastic on his full debut. And you could say now that left back position has been solved because I think a lot of Man United fans now believe that Brandon Williams is a much better solution than Luke Shaw and Ashley Young in that left back position, despite the fact that Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. Brandon Williams is only 19 years of age. He signed a new long-term contract not too long ago. But I did say, reflect on his impressive performances. I said he would earn more first team promotions. Very, very good player is Brandon Williams. This is what I've said to there's some aspects of me, that I do credit Solskjaer, definitely one of them. He has, got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players as, Solskjaer. Obviously the vast majority of the young upcoming players have been given their chances this season, like I said, and I kind of sure that, some of the young upcoming players will definitely become a fruition at Manchester United, so I can definitely assure that Mason Greenwood, Brandon Williams and Tuanzebe, they'll all become successes at the club. James Garner, he's played quite a few times this season, and maybe he will become a fruition at the football club, James Garner. With Mason Greenwood, though, regarding Mason Greenwood, these question marks around Solskjaer. why is he not playing Mason Greenwood more regular? And I think he needs to be playing him more regularly. He still has not yet started a game from the start in the Premier League, but he's made a lot of substitute appearances in the Premier League this season. Obviously, Mason Greenwood can play as a number 9. He's also an option on that right-hand side. But I do believe by the time he's, 23, 24 years of age, I think he'll be a world-class player for Manchester United. And, some people believe eventually, he will overcome Rashford. Scholes obviously, recently said that, eventually Mason Greenwood will become a better goal scorer than Marcus Rashford. Solsjaker, actually compared, Mason Greenwood to Robin van Persie, and he actually believes Mason Greenwood is a similar finisher to Robin van Persie, and he's aware that Mason Graham is still in the process of developing and that, and he said that he's still learning the men's game. But yeah, a very very good play. But I think if we can try and launch some young upcoming players out in January or next year, that would be very very beneficial indeed, definitely. Obviously, McTominay, obviously, he obviously, had an injury. So he was actually no doubt before the game yesterday, but obviously he played because obviously it got revealed that his injury was not too severe. And I said, McTominay has done really, really well this season. He has been a first team regular. Don't get me wrong, he isn't a world class midfielder as McTominay, but I think he's a much better solution than Matic. And Matic has initially lost his place in the team to Scott McTominay, but he has played between the lines very, very well. His defensive contribution has been very, very good. So some people that do actually believe now we do seem to look better without Paul Pogba. This is what some people do believe. But yes, I was very, very delighted with the result yesterday and that. But like I was saying, we've rejuvenated ourselves since the Liverpool game and that. And I think, reflecting on our good run of form prior to the Bournemouth defeat, you could say the pressure has eased off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Maybe not fully, but quite a lot. Because reflecting back before the Liverpool game, Solskjaer's job was under intense pressure. So you could arguably say maybe the last 6 games, you could say that they've saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Manchester United. Obviously, when we lost the Bournemouth 1-0 the other week, obviously the pressure would have been back on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But obviously now, now we've responded well in the last 2 games to the 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth, then I think, the pressure, would have eased off him anywhere. But, my perceptions, still haven't really changed regarding Solskjaer. I still believe he isn't in the long-term future for Manchester United. He isn't the long-term future for the football club, and I'm hoping to be proven wrong. Obviously, we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 odd years now. So last time I had as bad a start to a season as this, I think we was under Ron Atkinson's guidance. But, Ed Woodward, still insists, that he's 100% back in Solskjaer. He's assured that his job is safe at the football club. But yeah, I've credited him recently in that, as you all know, I've still got some element of concerns about him. But, I still think, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. I think... we need to get rid of our current board because, I think the board have been a liability for several years. Obviously, reflecting on, their poor recruitment and their poor selection of managers. They didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough during the course in the summer. And I think they need to assure, structural changes at the club. And I just don't think, they're reliable enough, to do this. So I think we need to get rid of our current board. And, I recommend a new board in. I also believe that we need to get rid of Ed Woodward because he's also a liability. So, in that aspect, he's compatible to the board. And I think we also need to get rid of, Solskjaer. Maybe not at this moment in time, but maybe in the long-term future. Because I just don't think he's good enough for the football club. Obviously, Solskjaer insists he's the right manager for Manchester United. And, I do love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot. but just isn't the right man for the football club. Obviously, I think us getting rid of Solskjaer now anywhere, wouldn't solve a lot of problems at the football club. I know there's been managers on our agenda, who could replace him, but I think, we should just keep him at least maybe for this season. Solskjaer, has got a 3-year contract because he had been given a 3-year contract when he had been given the job permanently back in March, and I can probably assure that he will not see out his 3-year contract. So I think the board have softened their stance on Solskjaer. Even though we've had a disastrous start to the season, because obviously he's a club legend. He's a club legend. He was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, and disregarding being a club legend, or if it had been any other manager, they probably would have been sacked by now. If we did sack Solskjaer, whenever, it won't be now at this present time or before Christmas, or I don't think this season. Obviously, either way, it's going to cost the club probably a substantial amount, to get rid of him in that. We probably wouldn't have to pay as much as we did, to get rid of Jose Mourinho. But so it seems like Manchester United now have turned a corner. But we still do remain 9 points behind top 4. And like I said at the start of this season, that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. And so in that aspect, we can't get back into the Champions League. And I did say if we could get top 4 this season, it would create a platform, it would give us something to build on. And I think anyway, our aspirations will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons, because obviously, at the moment, we're not good enough to win the league. We're not good enough, to even mount many kind of title challenge up. And I did actually, say at the start of this season that, despite the 3 signings that were recommended into the football club, I said that we won't win the league. We won't mount any kind of title challenge up, but I still mentioned that I expect us this season to enjoy a better season than what we enjoyed last season, because last season was a huge disappointment. We finished 6th. Obviously, we failed to win many silverware, and obviously, failed to qualify for the Champions League. But so I don't think we're going to win the league for at least the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. Depending on what we do in the next couple of windows, because it is very, very imperative that next year we can get the right caliber players to Manchester United. A massive rebuild is needed at the football club, and I think we need at least 5 to 6, maybe even more signings if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. And obviously, there is still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. There is still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed. Obviously, we've got that experienced centre half in now. We've got that right back in. But during the summer, we didn't get that midfielder in. Because one of the priority areas where we do need to strengthen up is that midfield. We also need a striker, at least one striker, and definitely, we need to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because we seem to have looked exposed in that attacking line since their current departures. Maybe some people believe we do need a right winner, but I think we're probably orchestrating on spending another substantial amount next year over the course of the next couple of windows. We spent a substantial amount during the summer. We spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire. And, to be fair though, they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers and that. So that's also something else I credit Solskjaer for. He did recommend 3 good, players to the squad. But yeah, and I do also believe next year that more players have definitely got to leave. Like I mentioned on one of my recent videos, I think probably around 5 players have got to leave next year. Another 5 players at least have got to leave next year, despite the fact that a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, because I still believe there is problematic players at the football club. I think Ashley Young, he's definitely one of the problematic players, and I think I think he should leave at the end of the season. He's 34 years of age now. He's 35 years of age next year. He's Ashley Young, and he has passed his sell by United, you can quite frankly say. Young now, he's into his 9th season as a Man United player. He has been here 8 years. He has been here since the Ferguson era, but I did take into account, didn't I, that, there has been quite a few players here. There's still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. Shouldn't have given him a new 1-year extension last season. That was a bad mistake from the football club. Jones, again, he's not good enough to represent Manchester United, and he's been here the same amount of time, more or less, than, Ashley Young, because Jones now is into his 9th season as a Man United player. He has been here, of course, 8 years. And obviously, Solskjaer's first choice centre backs are Lindelof and Harry Maguire in that, and obviously, Lindelof's going to find it very, very hard to get in that mix. He obviously maybe he'll get the chances in obviously the Carabao Cup and the Europa League and that, but in the Premier League his appearances are definitely now limited. And if we could, get rid of him next year, we could cash in for him, because don't forget last season Jones signed a new long-term contract, but we should never give Jones a new long-term contract. Marcus Rojo, I think, he's still going to be at Manchester United next year, because Solskjaer recently revealed the reason, I think, or the variety of reasons why he does want to keep Rojo at the football club, because maybe he still believes he's an imperative player in that. Rojo was subjected to intense speculation during the course of the summer. There was quite a few teams in for him. Also, Everton went in for him. Everton, I don't think were willing to pay the £25 million we were demanding. So, obviously, Everton and Man United couldn't come to an agreement on a fee. We have seen glimpses of how good Rojo can be. He's obviously not first choice, but Rojo's versatility is very, very good, and he can, play in various positions in that back line, predominantly as centre back, but can play as a full back, a wing back. I think he's 29 years of age, so he's knocking on a bit now. I think he's got just under 2 years left on his contract, but I think it would be very beneficial if we could get rid of him next year, because we have still got a lot of centre halves in the team. Despite Chris Smalling leaving, because Chris Smalling joined Roma on loan during the course of the summer. He left for just under £3 million. He left for just under £3 million. Like I said, Matic, he definitely needs to be moved on. And this, despite that, we have not yet strengthened up in that midfield. I think any of our midfield options now are better solutions than Matic, without a shadow of a doubt. Matic is in his third season. He's into his 3rd season now as a Man United player. Maybe. There's a lot of aspects of his game that he does need to improve on. Maybe some aspects of his game, he seems to, do really, really well. Sometimes he can pass the ball and that well. But for me, he's too slow, too easily predictable in that midfield. And he's 31 years of age, is Matic. And, I think, we definitely overpaid for him. I've got to agree on that aspect. We paid £40 million for him from Chelsea. But at the time, we got him under the Jose Mourinho era, which was back in 2017. He wasn't our first choice signing anywhere. He was like our 3rd choice signing. And like I said, he's lost his place in the team, due to his inconsistency, mainly. Yeah, but some people are saying we need to move Jesse Lingard on, because Jesse Lingard's enjoyed a really difficult start to this season for Manchester United. He's been very, very poor. And like I mentioned, I still say he's the long-term solution for Man United, but like I recently mentioned, reflecting on his status at the football club, Jesse Lingard, should be performing to the standards as we should expect from him. But some people are saying we should move him on. Obviously he's more experienced than the likes of Rashford and Martial and that, and even James, because obviously he's older. He's around 27, 28 years of age is Jesse Lingard. Yeah, and he's been very, very poor. Was injured obviously not too long ago. Now, yeah, some people are saying that we should play Juan Mata on more of a regular basis in the Premier League. We know that obviously Mata is no longer first choice anymore, because obviously we do believe that he has lost that yard of pace. he has lost that yard of pace in that, and obviously he's now obviously 31 years of age and that, but he's still a very imperative player, believe it or not. He did well in the game against Partizan Belgrade. Obviously, operated in that number 10 role. We've got a variety of players that can play in that number 10 position. I don't think Juan Mata, to be honest with you, from my own perception, suits that number 10. I think if we are going to play him, we do need to play him on the right hand side, Juan Mata. But he's enjoyed a good career with Man United. He's been here 5 years. This is his 6th season now at the football club. He has made over 200 odd appearances for Man United. I think he's scored nearly 50 goals for the football club in all competitions. I'm glad, we give him a new contract during the summer, because I thought he was going to leave Manchester United during the course of the summer. But yeah, maybe we should start playing him more on a regular basis. But yeah, so like I said, our recruitment has got to improve at least in the next couple of windows and that. And you can still quite frankly say, Solskjaer's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. It's obviously it's gonna be a long process, to get us back, to where we do want to be. Nothing's going to be fixed in just one window. He needs at least a couple of windows, to fix the deficiencies in the squad. And but the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, like I mentioned, because, Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club. Now, obviously, Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. There's still players here from, the Van Gaal era. There's still Matty from the David Moyes era. And there's still quite a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So maybe he still needs to be given more time in the football club, to see who else we can recommend in. I think Solskjaer did confirm that he does want to continue the policy of recruiting young British players, like he did do during the course of the summer and that. So in that aspect, he's compatible to Sir Alex Ferguson, because obviously, like I mentioned, Ferguson developed a lot of young players. He also, controlled the transfer policies. He also controlled a lot of the contracts and that. And so in that aspect, he's compatible to Alex Ferguson, his Solskjaer, so I think, Solskjaer's got around, 5 or 6 players on his agenda, who would like to recommend to the football club next year and that. As I recently, give you an update on, Christian Eriksen. There has been a lot of speculation going on about Christian Eriksen. Recently, it says reportedly, we've held negotiations with Christian Eriksen over the potential January transfer. Reportedly, we are prepared to bid up to around £42 million for him, and that's actually a reasonable figure. Because Christian Eriksen is a really good player. He'd be the right caliber player for Man United. But you could also add into account, it could also be a lot as well, because obviously he's only got just over 6 months on his current contract. So his current contract comes to an end at the end of the season. Now, obviously, we inquired about getting Christian Eriksen during the course of the summer. And obviously, we opted out for Christian Eriksen towards the back end of the summer transfer window. The main reason why we, pulled out towards the back end of the window was because we believed his preference was to make a move to Real Madrid. And, Real Madrid, could still end up, signing Eriksen next year. Could still end up signing Eriksen next year, and that despite the fact that Real Madrid spent a substantial amount in the summer, they spent £300 million on recruiting new players in. I still think they do want to do more investment, and I still believe Paul Pogba will they'll reignite their interest in Paul Pogba, Real Madrid, but. Christian Eriksen, I do like him a lot. 27 years of age, still got a lot of development in him. Player that can score goals, can create chances, mainly has delivered the goods to Tottenham. Well Premier League proven. He's now been at Tottenham 6 years. He's now into his 7th season as a Tottenham player. Tottenham basically, got him for next to no. They only paid around, was it just over £11 million from Ajax back in 2013. He's won a variety of awards, reflecting on his impressive performances. But yeah, and I think, he'd address our midfield really, really well. So we could, possibly, get him in January. But like I recently mentioned, that, Daniel Lever, he's a hard negotiator. He's a vice chairman. He's a hard negotiator, especially when it comes to, teams trying to get the pursuit of any of their players or, trying to go for any managers. He's very, very stubborn. He's Daniel Lever. So it's very, very hard to, persuade him into, doing things. But yeah, he's one player on our agenda. Don't forget, we could reignite our interest in Bruno Fernandes next year because, we went in for Bruno Fernandes during the course of the summer. Well, actually, during the course of the summer, Bruno Fernandes was our main priority target. But obviously, we didn't get him because obviously, we couldn't come to an agreement on a fee with Sporting Lisbon. He still remains at Sporting Lisbon at the moment. Obviously, James Maddison, he's another midfielder on our current agenda. And it did say, I think this was during the international break, wasn't it? That, we are expected to sign James Maddison within the next year. Again, I think, it would be, the right solution for Man United. Primarily an attacking midfielder. Obviously, a few times this season, Brendan Rodgers has played James Maddison on the left. But, reflects on Leicester City's, good run of performances and results and that. Maybe he wants to, consider staying with Leicester and that. Because Leicester have done really, really well recently. They're building momentum. There's confidence in their players. They're playing as a unit. And they are now sitting second in the league. And, Brendan Rodgers has done a really, really good job. Rodgers hasn't really won out in terms of silver as a manager. But, he's still deep down a very, very good manager. Don't forget he did well during his couple of years with Celtic. He also did well. He had one good season with Liverpool, did Rodgers, and now he's replicating that with Leicester. And taking into account, Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. And, everyone thought then, they would have crumbled. They lost Harry Maguire in the summer to us, obviously, so we've already done business with Leicester. They lost Raheem Mahrez in the summer of 2018 to Man City. They lost Danny Drinkwater and N'Golo Kante to Chelsea. So they have, done really, really well of Leicester. So I will credit them for that. I think they can definitely get the top four this season. I don't think they'll win the league, but I think they can definitely get in that top four. Very, very imminent that I think they're going to finish higher than Man United. They're going to finish higher than Man United and that. But I'd love James Maddison at Man United. Don't get me wrong. We'll probably have to pay a similar sort of figure, to as we did do for Harry Maguire. So we'd probably have to pay around 70 or 80 million pounds for Harry. James Maddison, something like that. Anywhere, this is his second season now with Leicester. He's enjoyed a good season, and he's replicating what he did in his first season. Because last season, he created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. I think he created around 100 chances. I think he's still got around 4 years left on his current contract with Leicester. Yes, he has still got 4 years left. 4 years left on his current contract. Leicester did pay only around £20 million from Norwich last summer. He had a good couple of years in the Championship. Obviously, he had a loan spell with Aberdeen in Scotland. He actually began his career with Coventry, when he was younger. And he's still only 22 years of age now, but still only, very, very young. So you could say he's another player on our agenda. Obviously, there's quite a few strikers on our agenda as well. Don't forget. I think it's very, very imminent now that we are expected to sign Mario Mandzukic in January. Obviously, there was a lot of reports coming out from the mainstream media the other week about Mario Mandzukic saying, we're expected to sign him in January. he had obviously, agreed to slash his wage demands from 300 grand a week to 150 grand a week in order to make the move to Man United. The good thing is that he is a cheaper solution. I think Juventus are only demanding that they want around 9 or 10 million pounds for him, and he's a very, very good goal scorer. His pedigree is very, very good. The only element of concern I've got about us recommending him in, he is now 33 years of age, so you can say he's probably only got a couple of years left in his footballing career. But prior to that, I would be happy with him coming in. You could say he's a good replacement for Romelu Lukaku. He obviously isn't a long-term replacement for him, but he's a good replacement for him for now. He's been at Juventus now 4 years. This is now his 5th season with Juventus. I think Man United reportedly are prepared to hand him around an 18-month contract. But for Juventus, he scored, 44 goals in, 162 games in all competitions. But we did inquire about getting him towards the back end of the summer transfer window. So I think he's probably going to be our first signing in January. Is Mario Mandzukic. We've also got Moussa Dembele on our current agenda. Again, I think he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. I think the beneficial thing about us recommending Moussa Dembele is that he's had experience of playing in the Premier League. Obviously because he began his senior career with Fulham. And then obviously after Fulham he went to Celtic, had a good couple of years with Celtic. Then after Celtic, he's obviously went to Lyon. He's still at Lyon now. He's in his 2nd season with Lyon. Lyon paid around £20 million for him from Celtic last summer. And I think he can, if he came to Man United, I think he can replicate, what he's done at all them teams. He is an out-and-out number 9. He is only 23 years of age, and he's another player we went in for during the course in the summer. So there is a lot of players on our current agenda, and I think those players I've just said to you, definitely would help Man United in that, and I think it would revive the spirit of the Alex Ferguson era at Manchester United if we did, get them type of calibre, players in and that. But we will see what happens. And like I said, I also do believe that we do need a new director of football. Because I did quote out, didn't I? That's one of the structural changes that we do need to see at the football club. During the summer there was, quite a few former Manchester United players linked to that director's role. There was talks of Ferdinand coming in, Evra, Darren Fletcher, but obviously, we didn't end up, getting one in, which obviously, was a disappointment. And that there was obviously speculation about Edwin van der Sar the other week. But I said if we get a director of football, we need someone who's got the right philosophy for the club. So that means they can, recruit, the right calibre players to Man United. Someone who also knows the traditions of the football club. And, and I think, Van der Sar would be the right candidate. I know there was obviously, reports last week about, Ralph Ragnick possibly becoming the new director of football at Man United. There was talks about that. I actually said, we travelled to Germany for the meeting with Ralph Ragnick. Ed Woodward obviously had scheduled the meeting and stuff like that because he's still keen on recruiting a technical director in. But I think Solsjaker insists we don't need a director of football. He defended the club's current structure not too long ago. So I said, didn't I? We still need to see a variety of changes at the football club, definitely. Like I've said, these managers on our agenda, who could replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, there's been a lot of talks about, Massimiliano Allegri. There's been a lot of talks about Massimiliano Allegri now for a number of weeks. He's been linked with a job at Bayern Munich because the Bayern Munich job's vacant because Bayern Munich sat Niko Kovac. It didn't there. Reflecting on their 5-1 defeat to Frankfurt. There was talks about him going to Arsenal and that. I actually do believe that Jose Mourinho is the favourite to take over at Arsenal. If Unai Emery is to be sacked, and it's very, very imminent now that Unai Emery will be sacked. It is just a matter of time. But yeah, it's more than likely Jose Mourinho will take over at Arsenal. There's obviously been talks of a few other managers. I think Mikel Arteta recently got mentioned. At Arsenal, I think recently Steven Gerrard got mentioned, but I think it's more likely that he will take over, Jose Mourinho. And, it said not too long ago that Jose Mourinho obviously had a meeting with Arsenal's head of football, over the possibility of taking the reins at Arsenal. Like I said, Mourinho maybe would do a good job at Arsenal. I know he didn't do so good in his 2.5-year tenure with us, and that. I already give you the variety of reasons why his tenure didn't work out at Manchester United, but he's still regarded as one of the best managers in the world. Is Jose Mourinho, reflecting on what he's won. His pedigree is fantastic. He's won 25 major honours in total so far during his managerial career. Mourinho's probably he'd fit Arsenal's philosophy and that, and he'd be able to recruit the right players for them and stuff like that. And this is probably something new Mourinho can't do. And yeah, so I think Arsenal are the favourites to get Mourinho. But look what Mourinho's won. He won 3 titles with Chelsea. He won the Champions League with Porto winning at Milan. He's won other trophies as well. I can't remember everything he's won, but I know he won the Europa League and the League Cup with us in his first season. But yeah, definitely Ryan Ray will get sacked. So I think it's probably very likely he will be the next manager to be sacked in the Premier League without shadow of a doubt. But talking about Max Allegri, one point he did say he was our primary candidate, especially during the international break. It says he was my primary candidate, Max Allegri, and that. He says, he was in discussions with Manchester United and that, regarding, what salary, he would earn if he was to be recommended into the football club. He also reportedly assured a few things. If he was to come in, he wanted to, bring Patrice Evering as one of his coaching staff. He also wanted to recommend, Mario Mandzukic and, Emre Can into the football club. And he said he was recently learning English in preparation for his potential move, because he's actually spent the entirety of his managerial career so far in this Serie A. Obviously started managing small various Italian clubs, then obviously emulated himself up, and he did resign as Juventus manager at the end of last season, and he enjoyed a 5-year tenure with Juventus. Progressed them to 2 Champions League finals, won the vast majority of his silverware there. We won't be getting anyone else in anywhere because we'll stick with Solsjaker for now. I think Man United, we've made several mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and I do believe that, and I think one of the mistakes was obviously giving Mulligan and Solskjaer the job. I do believe we give him the job too soon, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But he's only been here overall now for around 11 months. So he's been here just under a year. He's been permanent boss for around 8 months or so now. So yeah, maybe he does deserve to be given more time at the football club. And for me, he just hasn't got any intuition on how to manage a big football club like Manchester United, and that's one of the main element of concerns I've got about him. He hasn't really got that managerial experience in that, but that still doesn't mean he can't become a success at the football club. But we will see what happens. So like I mentioned, Solskjaer, was delighted, with our 3-1 win over Brighton. He was very, very, happy, with the performance, and hopefully, we can keep these good results and run of performances up, and hopefully, we can continue this against Sheffield United after the international break. Yeah. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.